Today, in just a few minutes, we're going to hear from our instructor today. There he is, Mr. Michael Huggins on the left, that bright smiling face. Here is a fellow that's just incredible, and he's going to be with us in a few moments. He asked me to start this morning by sharing my adventure over the last couple of years. When I first met and discovered Renatus and met Raul Campos that first night, I'll tell you, we had been waiting for about 30 years. We had questions, Susan and myself. Sue would say, how come we're not getting how come this is so hard to make ends meet? How come we're not getting ahead anymore? And I just shake my head and say, Sue, people out there know things, and it's making them wealthy, and I don't know how to find that out. I don't even know how to ask the questions. And it seems like a lot of the people that are being successful have this mentality that there just isn't enough. And if I share this information, I'm going to have less of it. And of course, first thing we learn in Renatus is that you share the opportunity. There is abundance in life, and it is so true, and everyone was so sharing and positive and uplifting. But the thing that struck me that first night was here were the answers to questions that we had for 30 years plus, and all of a sudden we could grab a hold of it. So it didn't take us very long at all to embrace Renatus, to sign up and start learning from our combo. We have had we started by looking at real estate. That's all we wanted to do. We knew that there was marketing, weren't interested in marketing in the least. We started our lessons and plugging in with people in our community. We started to look around. It changed the way we drive down the street. You start noticing the properties that need a little attention, the possibilities that these properties have. Gosh, you could put a whole nother house out in the side yard of that. And we know that people are getting away from all that yard work and stuff, but the possibilities were just coming all around us. And it wasn't until I signed up for Michael's EMT class, Elevate Marketing Training, and it changed a few things in the way I was thinking. And during that class, I was able to make 2 sales, the first 2 sales in nearly 2 years, and brought 2 wonderful people on board. And in the few weeks since then, while Susan's been in the EMT class this time around, we have also made another combo sale. So that's 2 combos and essentials, and it has brought more to our life. It really is a kind of a selfish thing. We decided to keep this to ourselves. This is great information, and we couldn't wait to bring more people in. We keep telling people about it. We've got guests tomorrow night. Susan's been working really hard with this EMT, and it's not been easy. I'll be honest, that EMT course is not easy, but it's a life changer. It's a game changer, and invite you to participate in those classes in the future. All right. Well, Mr. Michael Huggins is with us, and we want to welcome him. He has come in. Again, the change in his life is nothing short of astounding. He started out by changing oil at Jiffy Lube. Didn't even have his own car. In fact, he didn't have his own bike. He rode his brother's bike, and he stashed it in the bushes so no one would see that he didn't have a car. He worked 2 full-time jobs and still had time to grab the Renatus opportunity when it came, improve his life. And the wonderful thing about Renatus is that it is a self-improvement program cleverly disguised as a real estate education opportunity. Michael, good morning. We're glad you're with us, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Ron. Good morning, everyone. And congrats, Mr. 5-Star. Way to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, put your mind to it. You can do it. So great work. And thanks for sharing your experience with that. Okay, so one tactic that Ron implemented in his path to getting 5-star and building his team is he would sometimes bring the meeting to people if they weren't coming to the meeting. So I've been getting some requests recently about what that looks like and how someone could do that. So we're going to cover that today. Let me get my screen share going. iPad share. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have people who, would do great with this company, that the Renatus training would really help them, but their schedule just doesn't line up for them to be coming to meetings often or sometimes ever. So what do we do there? What do we do in that regard? This is where we do a cash recovery party, or a CRP. Hosting CRPs in all different sizes. It doesn't really matter. I've seen people do one-on-one CRPs, and I've seen 25 people crammed in a living room. Right? We're all having pizza and snacks and drinks and cookies and fun time and money. Right? So it's a party. So let's first cover the atmosphere. Okay, the feel of this is definitely informal compared to what we do at our meetings, right? We're putting on a tie, we're playing music, and we got a official start time and end time. But with their CRP, the atmosphere is much more relaxed. It's much more fun. Okay, it is that party feel, right? We're gonna, there's drinks and music and fun. It's a different setting. Okay, there's going to be maybe you provide food and snacks. And I've been to some where it was just little finger foods, and I went to some where people were serving a whole meal for their guests. Right, but the aspect is more of a socializing aspect than just sit in a class, sit in a study group, sit in a follow-up. Right, this is different. This is being at home. This is being with somebody. So that's the key first. Making sure that atmosphere is relaxed. Then, while you have that atmosphere, remember to build for future events. Right? Especially with nationals coming up, everyone should be attending that. Everyone who's even considering being a real estate investor, who might hint at buying our education, they need to go to nationals. The training that they're going to receive, the people they're going to meet, the relationship currency they're going to develop, all of that. So build for events is also part of your CRP. Woo! That's some hot coffee. Okay. Next. Now what do we cover? So when you're building for a cash recovery party, one thing to remember is, like I said, it's a party. You gotta have fun with it. So the invitation and all of the communication around it are that it's a party. Now, it's okay, so I'll give you the context real quick, and then we'll talk about the steps to it. So the reason why you're holding a cash recovery party is because you want to go from this piece of pie to this piece of pie. Now what happens in here is this is taxes, this is interest, and this is lifestyle. When people don't have control over these things, a third of their life goes to this, a third of their life goes to that, and then the rest they got to cram into a third. But if we recover cash, then the pie chart changes. We're going to recover cash from these two areas, from taxes and from interest. So that when we're done, it looks like this. Taxes, interest, 10%, 10%, and lifestyle is 80%. This is the game. This is the goal, getting over here. We want to move. We want to have a party about it. We're going to recover this cash. Okay, so depending on your friends and the setup, maybe you're doing this with a friend. Maybe you're doing it for yourself. But drawing this out, drawing these little things out so it's your people, your friends feel like you're making this for them, right? Or maybe you make it on your computer and you print it out, and then they sit on your couch, you hand it to them. You say, this is our goal for today, is to create a pie chart, to create a lifestyle of 80%, where you're not getting your money confiscated from different entities, right? Wall Street, banks, and the IRS. So this is the intent. This is the purpose. The purpose is to recover cash. And in what categories are we mostly recovering the cash? It's going to be in taxes and interest. But we'll be able to break it down a little bit more. So this is the setup. Now, depending on how advanced or how sophisticated your friends are, maybe they're really brand new, maybe they're still in an employee mindset and they're just entertaining this idea, it will depend on how much content you actually cover, right? Because if we start covering a bunch of tax strategies with retirement account stuff and all of your friends are 19, you don't need to dive into it quite to that level. But if you're in Ron's position where you have had a career and you're in something for 10, 15, 20 years and people have retirement accounts and they're building that up, then of course you're gonna bring what applies to them, right? So you must read your audience. Read your audience. What applies to them? Now, if they're asking a lot of questions, I've been in some where everyone's friends and everyone's friends are friends, and so it gets into an amazing discussion of, well, so that means I can recover cash here, and I can do this with my car, and this with my life insurance policy, and these things just get really big and exciting. And then other ones where people are just sitting there contemplating this world of, can I really have a world where 80% of my money goes to my lifestyle? Right? Like, it's a brand new idea we just gave them today. You got to read your audience and gauge and tell them what's going to apply to them. Okay? So excuse me. So it's easy to start out conversations with a did you know? Did you know? And then this is when you can start talking about your taxes. This is, and this might be on your invitation too, right? You might say, hey, great news, we're having a party in my house in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. Give people some heads up. And then you could say, depending on who your friends are, right? Maybe you could say, did you know your kids' toothpaste could be a write-off? Did you know you can own real estate in your retirement account? Did you know you can pay off debt and blah, 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 blah? Did you know you can clean up your credit in record time? I've seen people get a 200-point jump in 6 months from cleaning up their credit. Right, so these did you knows to start the conversation. Now, all of these 4 major points that we talked about are ways in which if your friends and family are neglecting these things, this is what's taking their wealth. This is what's confiscating their money and what we need to help them with. Alrighty. So, how do we help them? Well, again, remember this is relaxed time, right? This is your friends and your family just chilling. You're talking to them, right? These are all the people. There's couches and chairs and love seats and bean bags, right? And here you are saying, guys, I want to help you. I've been recovering my cash in case you didn't know, right, you're over here with this pie chart, and what we want to be doing is helping you get to this. Right? People are drinking their beer, and they're laughing and having a good time, and they're eating their chicken nuggets and drinking their kombucha, whatever they're doing, right? It's a party, cash recovery party. So there's still a fun mode to it. And again, remember to read your audience. And what's fun is when, like if this was me and this was one of my new IMAs and these were all their guests, right? Guests, all these guests. That'd be awesome. If you got to just have a conversation with this person, right? So tell me about your friends. Who are we going to be talking to today? Read your audience. Okay, so now here we are. One of the major keys to running an effective meeting is letting them know when it's going to end. Let them know the end time, right? So thanks guys for being here. Just want to let you know I'm planning on wrapping up in 60 minutes or an hour and a half, or by 7:22, whatever you're. Let them know an end time. It doesn't really need to go more than 90 minutes unless, like I said, everyone's having a blast and it's going well, then no need to end it early. But when people know there's an end time, then they don't get so antsy, okay? Okay, so what I want you to do, here's what I want you to do, is you're going to tell your story. Tell your story. And remember, your story is made up of a few parts. One is where were you before joining Renatus, right? What made you look? Where were you? Why were you looking? Why did you join Renatus? What's happened since? What's happened since joining? And then this is the segue right here. This one's the perfect segue to say, and this is why I'm having this party with you guys, because of what's happened since joining. I've been able to change what used to be, 33%. I've now been able to change it to 10%. And it's going so well that I couldn't keep it to myself. So this is why I'm throwing this party. I'm glad you guys are here. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, and you bring up the pie chart. Telling you, people need visual references. You go, wait a minute, this used to be my lifestyle, but all of this could be my lifestyle? All right, I'm listening. And thank you for the pizza. Okay. Now, the four major parts to the cash recovery puzzle are going to be taxes, the velocity banking strategy, credit and credit management, and retirement accounts. Okay, so again, like I said, depending on your audience, who's with you is what you're going to talk about the most. Now, the two that everyone should cover are these two. Taxes and velocity banking should be covered every time. Okay? I'd go as far as to say retirement accounts too, because when people want to know where they're going to get their money to do deals, well, I don't have any money. Well, if you knew how retirement accounts work, then you wouldn't say silly things like that. So they're all really important to cover. And then especially with credit management, because it feeds right into your velocity banking. So, all right. Now, how do we do this? Well, for me, what we've seen be the most successful is playing 10 to 15 minutes of each class in the essentials. Okay. Now again, read your audience. So like sit in the, if you're this person, then come sit over here so that you can still look at everybody and read the faces. Okay, be strategic about where you're sitting. 10 to 15 minutes of each class. And then at the end, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. But at the end, you're going to just show them this little representation. Essentials in AIT. You don't need to say any prices unless you want to. I think it's important to say prices, but if you want to make sales, you better say prices. If you're just being casual about it and you're like, hey, these are things I'm sharing with you, but you're not interested in making sales, then don't say the price. But if you want to make sales, you got to tell people this is something to buy. And so the point is, within the taxes class and within the velocity banking class, you're going to find examples of saving $20,000 at least. Right? When I did my mortgage HELOC swap, I saved $80,000. When my grandma is doing her accelerated velocity strategy, she's going to save $107,000. Right? So just on mortgages, she's saving that. Okay, well, what about taxes? Right? There are people who are, if they're making $80,000 or more, they're saving more than $20,000 in taxes. Right? So the point is, we're going to show people that they're saving this kind of money so that when we get to the price, they're like, oh, it's already paid for itself. Exactly. We want them to be saying that. It's already paid for itself. Exactly. How freaking cool is that? When they come to that realization, this is how we get a lot of people to sign up and go, oh, well, if that's the case, then this is already paid for itself. Here's my credit card. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. The more often you do this, the more often that's going to happen. So then you're going to highlight. This is towards the end, right? You've done your 10 to 15 minutes of these 2 to 4 classes. Then you're going to highlight, and you're going to say, so what we covered was in these essentials classes. Now, this is what I signed up for. Or maybe if you got the combo, you say, I signed up for the whole combo. Right? Be honest about what you signed up for. And then invite them to join you. Right? This group of classes is only $2,000. And again, I'm only sharing this with you because it is helping me with so much. If you remember, I want you to come from this premise of, it's not important to me that you buy. It's not important to me that you care. What's important to me is that you look at the information. Right? I don't care if you buy. I don't care if you care. But I do care if you look at this information. And that's how you're kind of going to end it. This is the tone of it. This is why you're doing it. Right? You don't need money, and they don't need to do this. It's not a need. It's just a party or just sharing. And you could even say that phrase. Look, friends, I'm just sharing this with you, and honestly, I don't care if you buy the essentials. I don't care if you even care about this information I shared with you. All I cared about is that you looked, and I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you showed up with me. I'm glad we got to, joke around and have some fun with this. And then depending on the atmosphere, some people will actually buy it. They'll pull out their credit card and say, wait a minute, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. And then someone else will say, well, wait, if you're doing it, then I'm doing it. And you might get 5 or 10 signups in an afternoon. But then you might get some people who are like, oh, that's too hard. I could never do that. And then that's the last time you invite them to this. No, I'm just kidding. Keep inviting them. They need help more than they understand. But the attitude is, I just want you to look. Eli said, parties at his house last till the next day. Exactly. Right? We could have a cash recovery party all into the wee hours. Okay, which sections are the best? Okay, so in the taxes, if they have kids, then show how to pay your kids. If not, then you're going to show the 4 benefits of a rental. Okay, so go through the chapters. There's the one for paying your family. If all of your friends don't really have kids, it doesn't really apply. Great, let's talk about the 4 benefits of a rental. With the velocity banking, it really is up to you which 10 to 15 minutes, because some of them are going to talk about the swap, some of them are going to talk about the chunk, some of them are going to talk about the solution, or others will be talking about the problem. So you have to read your friend. Say, is your friend aware that there's a problem with a mortgage? Okay, great, we can jump into solution. But if your friend isn't aware of the problem, then play the problem chapter where they're going over, hey, this is why this class exists. Look at what happens. They have you refi your car into your house, and now you're paying 30 years on your car. They made you think it was a good idea. This is a problem. If you show that part of the class, they're going to be like, whoa, I didn't realize that. I thought I was doing the right thing rolling my car into the mortgage. So depends on what you're going to cover for the velocity banking there. With credit management, my favorite part is when Eric is covering the myths. Okay, when he just covers, hey, these are some credit myths here, and let's just clean them up, because too many of our friends are walking around thinking they know how credit works, and they don't realize that it changes every year. So there's a lot of myths, and that, to me, is the most impactful information your friends can receive. And they're like, oh, I had bad information. Thank God I showed up to your party. And then you high five them and say, yep. Okay, Jen, good. Same question. All right. Anya, what if they ask me how to write off toothpaste? Oh, that is so awesome. Anya, if they're asking you that, then that means your invitation is landing well, and then all you have to say is, that's what the party's for. That's what the party's for. That's why I'm having the party. So come on over. I'll show you exactly how to do it. I'm glad you're asking. Toothpaste and more. And more. All the things that a kid buys. I'm so glad you're asking. Come to the party. We'll dive into it. You're not responsible for answering or training or teaching any of that. You're going to tell your story from your own personal experience, and then you're just going to play the asset, the classes, what you paid for, what you have, and let that product do the work. Okay, then with retirement accounts, well, let's look together. Retirement accounts. Looking. What is going to be the best? Loading. Okay, Edwin, I'm not talking about tracks. We're just talking about 4 classes in the essentials, nothing in the AIT. Which is, why did I click on AIT? Nothing in AIT. Okay, so now we're going to come to self-directed IRA. Okay. Okay, I think this one, chapter 7, transferring or rolling over your existing IRA, because this is what your friends are going to want to do, and this is what you need to learn how to do, is help people get access to retirement or get access to funds for their real estate, and they can use retirement accounts to do that. So whether they want to do real estate or they have their own retirement accounts, this chapter is going to be huge. Going to be huge. So the rollover chapter. Rollover chapter. Okay. Anya says, is there a video training example of a cash recovery party? Yeah, this right here. You're in it. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is recorded, so you can review it as needed. Share it with your friends. So if you're working with 2 or 3 other IMAs, maybe you can't fill a whole room, but you got 2 friends, and find another IMA with 2 friends, another IMA with 2 friends. Now the 3 of you could put a room together, and if they haven't watched this video, then you can share it with them. Say, hey, look, this is what I'm planning on doing. Let's work together on this, right? You be in charge of snacks, you're in charge of hosting, you're in charge of invitations, right? Or however it all works. Working together is going to be a major key. I've seen different IMAs come together and make the whole thing work, right? You got some old, some new. You got some who are further into their career. We got some people who are just barely starting. And that mix is nice. But if everyone's new, that doesn't matter. That's still great, because you're showing that you're changing. You're saying, look, it doesn't matter how new I am. Yesterday I was old, but I got this information. Now I'm not going back. I'm not going to make my mortgage payments the same way. All right, SETI. You can find them on the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, then type in Elevate Renatus, and then go to the channel called Elevate Renatus, then click on videos, and there's a list of all of them. Calvin, when presenting the velocity banking, how many numbers should we use? We should as general as we want, right? Otherwise it'll be confusing. Yeah, just be generic, Calvin. If you're wanting to present it yourself, what I'm suggesting is you let the classes do the presenting. But if you want to practice a really easy to show 10-minute version of velocity banking, go to interestreduction.com. Interestreduction.com. You can share it with people, but if you want to impress them, you should just do what you see in this video. Okay, interestreduction.com. Learn how to do that, and those numbers are all the same. It's easy. It's easy. 36, 18, 300. You'll get it. Okay, so now you've covered these 2 to 4 classes in the essentials. You pointed out to everyone, hey, this is all we've covered, really. This AIT stuff is how to build and do the deals. And then you let them go. All right, so we're out of time. We used up our time. Thanks for being here. If you want to stick around, I was actually going to play some more classes, but again, we're just here to goof around. So if that's what you want to do too, I'm glad you guys showed up. It's just a party. Now, again, you must build for the next event, or else you just wasted time. Okay? Remember, your job is to walk people down the hallway of experience, right? You guys remember this amazing drawing? You guys remember? We're in the hallway, right? We got our friends. And we're saying, hey, this place is awesome. You should come over here. There's a cash recovery party going on. And they go into this room. Then when they come back out, they're like, wasn't that awesome? That's cash recovery party. Your next job, you have to get them to the next meeting, which could be a 4 pillars. Right? It could be an epic. Maybe the next thing on the calendar, you take them to a house tour or to a cash flow game. Right? Your job is to get them to the next event. Okay, guess what? There's an intensive coming up. Holy crap, there's an intensive coming up. There's one on March 3rd with Mark Kohler doing the national broadcast. There's also one on March 3rd in Denver. All right, get your ass to the class. So tell people, okay, you now come in here. Oh, wasn't that awesome? Okay, your job is to just guide them through. And so a great way to start is with cash recovery parties, especially with your warm market, people you already know. They know you. And so it's just a new path. It's not about sales. It's about information. It's about, again, I don't care if you buy. I don't care if you care. I just care that you look. Okay? Then at some point, while they're in the hallway, they're going to be like, you know what? I want more. Say, good. This door right here is the more. This is where you get your combo. This is where study groups happen, and this is where the mastermind happens, and this is where the one-on-one coaching happens. So yeah, let's get you going. This is the door you want. Okay, so I drew this up because your job is to build for events, build for events, build for events, build for events. You get paid to build for events. Well, sort of. You get paid to close sales, but how do we close sales? We use the events to close the sales. Okay, so I've given you the structure. We got 15 more minutes. Let's do a Q&A on this so that you guys can get the most out of it. So who's got questions, comments, ideas, clarifications? You can come off mute or you can type your question. The cash recovery parties are working. We just this last week got another combo sale because of the ripple effect of the cash recovery party we did a couple months ago. Someone signed up there. They brought someone on, who then brought someone on, who just last week brought someone on, and it all started at a cash recovery party. And that cash recovery party probably made us, me and Vanessa probably made like $40,000 since that one cash recovery party. And we didn't even do a good job. Like, I'm teaching you this stuff because of how I screwed it all up. So this is a much more planned out format than what we used to do. Okay, so our purpose is to recover cash. Everyone, in case you didn't know, IRS, right? The IRS is doing this here. Wall Street and the banks are doing this here. Okay, read your audience. Did you know? Get the invitations out. Okay, do you hand out the pie charts, or is it better to draw the pie charts on a whiteboard, or to do both? So, Deslin, it totally depends. If you have a nice whiteboard and your living room is set up to have a whiteboard like that, then cool, have it. If not, or your friends are like, what the hell is a whiteboard doing in your living room? Then just do the printout and just hand it to them, give them a marker so they can follow along. It totally depends. My friends, everyone knows whiteboards are everywhere in my house, so that's normal, right? You just read your peeps. Okay, Anya, do you have a video of the party you presented? I think so. I need to send someone a message, and if I can pull it up, I'll give you guys the login for that. Okay, Jen, is it better to do a PowerPoint or just draw on a whiteboard? Well, if you're good at PowerPoint, then the PowerPoint will keep you on track. It'll make sure you end on time. It'll make sure you cover everything. But the downside is if your friends aren't used to seeing you do PowerPoints, again, they're like, what the hell is going on? Who is this person? But if there's a mixture, maybe you just made 2 or 3 slides, and you're like, this is why, if you're going to do PowerPoint stuff, all of you people, if you're going to do it in PowerPoint, what I shared here, make sure you put some pictures of your family, put some pictures of the dreams, of the stuff you're going for, right? Don't just be so neocortex, here's information, get out of my house, right? You want to have some of that fuzzy, feely, happy goodness. And for some people, it's a picture of your dream car. For others, it's a picture of your family. Others, it's, a peaceful garden, right? Everyone is different. But if you just have money stuff in your PowerPoint, that's not going to be that fun. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but with Jen, everyone knows that you're a professional and you're a trainer, so your PowerPoint's going to kick ass. All right, Cody, for the new people, what's the likelihood of getting a 5-star to our party? All the likelihood. You tell your 5-star or their 5-star, hey, I got 10 people coming in 2 weeks over to my house. I need help with a cash recovery party. Absolutely. That is totally, you could do it by yourself, or you could do it with your 5-star, or you could do it with other IMAs. There are no restrictions around this. You just got to ask. Whoever your 5-star is, hit them up. Where is the printout? Ben, I didn't make a printout. Welcome to the conversation. What I suggested was you either make a printout of this just to hand to your friends. So at the very beginning of your meeting, you say, this is why I'm having the meeting. This is the purpose for our meeting, is to move you from this pie chart where everything is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 over to this pie chart where it's 10%, 10%, 80%. So yeah, just make it. I like to draw, so I just draw. But I'd probably like screenshot this and email it to my printer. That's what I would do. But other people know how to make fancy printout stuff. All right, it's working. So you could even, depending on how much you like it and what effect it's having, you might just play the interest reduction video for the velocity banking. Because at the end of that, I build for an event and I invite them to come and check something out. Okay, let's take a look at something. This right here. So here's one that Wade hosted. Hey, this is Wade. I'm your neighbor. I'm hosting a free cash recovery party. So he just did this for people in the neighborhood. And he just went door to door, put a little flyer on them with this. Come join us and learn how you can save $100,000 or more on your mortgage. Now, the reason why he could say that is because of the neighborhood he was in are $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses, and so it's pretty easy to think that we're going to save $100,000 on a house like that. On your mortgage, taxes, and other debts. You'll learn how to eliminate all of your debt in as little as 4 or 5 years. Other subjects will be covered as well, such as how to invest in real estate without using any of your own money. Here's our house, limited space. Please call me. And then he personally signed it. So all you got to do is knock on doors. Knock on doors. Hey, neighbor. Hey, neighbor. Make some friends. Some of you are like, well, I don't have a warm market, Michael. Go make a warm market. You're friendly. We liked you enough to sign you up. All right, cool. We are reaching the top of the hour. What other questions, ideas, clarification? Edwin, did you see what I meant about the 10 to 15 minutes? We're not going into AIT stuff. Unless, well, no, because that's not a cash recovery party. A cash recovery party is covering these topics where we're recovering cash. They don't have to do any fancy investing. They don't got to go manage a construction project. They just have to change their bank status. They got to change how they use their credit card to improve their credit. There's little things they're already doing right now. That's why this is so easy. There's no resistance to this. It's not like you're trying to say, hey, drop what you're doing and come start a new career with me. I would say that for people who absolutely hate their career, totally. But for most people, that's a drastic change. And so we just start with fixing the issues at hand. Taxes, interest. Okay, so make your invitations. Did you know? Remember, if you got kids, include a picture of them in your invitation to say, this is why I'm doing it. All right? Tell your story. Where were you before? Why were you looking? Why did you join? And what's happened since? Okay, then we're going to cover 10 to 15 minutes of 2 to 4 classes. Taxes, velocity banking, credit management, retirement accounts. And then you're going to say it a couple times. I don't care if you buy. I don't care if you think it's important. All I care is that you look. So next year, when you wonder why I don't go to a job anymore, you'll know exactly why. And then remember to build for events. This is a nonstop, every conversation, all the time, Build for events all the time. Deslin, do you just play the videos or one after another or talk in between? I usually try to get the videos in closer together and then have the conversations at the end, because one video could spark a half-hour conversation and then other people have to go and then you didn't watch the other video, right? Because some people have mortgages, some people have retirement accounts, some people have kids, some people have rentals, right? And so we want to be a little broad, and if we start a conversation in between, then it could dominate the meeting. So if people have questions, say, hey, just jot these down. We'll talk about it at the end. I want to show you 2 more things. It's like, well, I got a question. Okay, 2 more things I got to show you. Then we'll do questions, right? Billy's got to leave. He told me he's got to leave in 20 minutes. If I answer your question, I can't show the thing I wanted to show Billy. So hold on. Anya, if I'm brand new, can I tell them I'm currently rebuilding, or is there other wording? Yeah, that's perfect. I'm rebuilding. That's actually what Renatus is. That's a loose translation for the word Renatus, is rebuild. Rebuild, refresh, restart. Yeah, you're in the rebuilding phase of your life. You're playing the rebuild. You were working on a project that wasn't giving you the right returns and creating the security you wanted, so you're rebuilding. Absolutely. And you're so excited about it that you had to throw a party. That's great news. Who throws parties around recovering cash? Millionaire real estate investors, that's who. People who love to share and care. Okay, and then remember, your job is to just walk them down the hall. So when you're building for that next event, that's what we do. That's what we do. We build for events. We build for events. You say, great, well, this is what we're doing next, or this is the next webinar we're having in our area, or this is the next, we're doing a CRP in 3 weeks over at Judy's house. You want to come over? Let me know at the end, and you can come to that one, right? Whatever it is, build for events. Continue to walk people through exposures down this hallway and collect those decisions. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. What a fun morning. Okay, so check the recording of this. If you have other IMAs and this is what you want to work on with them, my goal, my recommendation to you guys is to schedule, get your cash recovery party scheduled this week. Okay, you're gonna host it. My invitation to you is to host it before Nationals so that you can invite people to Nationals. Okay, so get it scheduled this week and then host it before Nationals. And you can start getting your invites out and start saying, hey, I'm having a party, I'm having a party, I'm having a party. And depending on your friends is what day you'll have the party, and depending on your friends is what time you'll have the party. They're your friends, so you figure it out. But try to host it in the next 30 days, get it scheduled in the next couple of days, and then that way you can let other IMAs know that, hey, I'm having a cash recovery party at my house. If you want to bring a friend or two, let me know. Let's work together on this stuff. Okay, share this video with your peeps. Done and done. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Happy Wealth Wednesday. We'll catch you soon.